humiliating them is maybe you sit them down and you hold up a Quran and you start saying, hey, would your Quran still be effective without this page, without this passage, without this? Maybe. Again, I don't know. That's a question. And people are saying to me the threat of torture. Yeah, the threat of torture. Because let's remember, some of these guys are not necessarily Navy SEALs. Some of these guys aren't Navy SEALs. Some of these guys aren't, trained to resist torture. So why not? Prairie dog, only serve pork pie. Yeah, why not? There are ways that you can interrogate people without it being torture. There are ways that you can do it. And maybe I'm wrong on this, but I really don't. I don't think that this should. I'm not sure we should do it. I understand why. And if it were effective, if it actually worked 100% of the time, if it worked 100% of the time, okay, maybe. But as I've said about NSA surveillance, just because something works a majority of the time, just because something works, doesn't necessarily mean that we should do it. I am very much struggling with this because I understand. I seriously understand. Here's the other thing. Brian said if Obama has the balls to black bag Bush, Cheney, et al. And hand them over to the UN. Well, here's the thing, is that I don't think that'll happen because based on what I understand, the Bush administration didn't know about all of it. And I'm still in the chat room, guys. For those wondering, I am still in the chat room. In fact, I am refreshing so that I can log back in. But I understand. Boston Randy pointed out, if Obama black bad Bush, Cheney, etc., he'd be opening up the same fate for him thanks to the droning. Absolutely. Now, here's what the president had to, the former president, George W. Bush, had to say on this.
Yeah, I haven't seen the report.
I haven't either. I would expect it will be somewhat critical.
But I'll tell you this. Well, first of all, as I understand, it'll be critical, but there's also going to be a report of a counter report coming out of the agency. Here's what I'm going to say. That we're fortunate to have men and women who work hard at the CIA serving on our behalf. These are patriots. And whatever the report says, if it diminishes their contributions to our country, it is way off base. And I knew the directors, I knew the deputy directors, I knew a lot of the operators. These are good people, really good people, and we're lucky as a nation to have them.
I don't necessarily disagree with him there. By the way, to Boston Randy for telling me that the Stars were up. They're now tied in the second. They gave up 2 goals in the second period. Anybody shocked by this? No. I'm not. Here is what CIA Director Brennan had to say about this. In regarding this, the torture report, and again, Bush's comments about saying there's a counter report coming out. Again, it just shows that that it's all politics, which is unfortunate. I mean, this entire thing is political. You're not going to get an unpolitical report. Which is unsurprising. But let's look at. But here's what CIA Director Brennan had to say when they had when he held a news conference regarding this. It's about a minute clip. CNN put it together. Various answers that he gave on this.
I think there's more than enough transparency that has happened over the last couple of days. I think it's over the top. There were no easy answers. This agency did a lot of things right. The program was uncharted territory for the CIA, and we were not prepared. Our reviews indicate that the detention and interrogation program produced useful intelligence, but let me be clear. We have not concluded that it was the use of EITs that allowed us to obtain useful information from detainees subjected to them. There were times when CIA officers exceeded the policy guidance that was given and the authorized techniques that were approved. The overwhelming majority of officers involved in the program at CIA carried out their responsibilities faithfully and in accordance with the legal and policy guidance they were provided. For me, it was something that is certainly regrettable, but we are not a perfect institution. We're made up of individuals. We are imperfect beings.
And that last statement is very true. We are imperfect beings. This is going to be debated for a while. Nobody has, everybody's going to have different opinions on it. Personally, I'm not sure that it was the best way to go about it. I understand why people think that. That's my opinion. We're going to take a quick break. Next hour, non-political. Well, I'm sure politics will get mentioned sometime because we are talking about punk rock. But punk rock talk coming up next with Roman Flute, with Jason Pye, and with Eric Grubbs, the author of Post, a look at the influence of post-hardcore from 1985 to 2007. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be back right after the top of the hour. Curling is awesome, by the way. I agree with Boston Randy there. We'll be back after the top of the hour.
Hi, this is Jazz Shaw. Be sure to join Doug Mataconis and me at 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays for Glitter Nerds Radio, here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. It's not as much about the politics as the people behind the politics. That's Glitter Nerds Radio, Thursdays at 9 Eastern on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
This is Alan Vortius of VLR's Their Finest Hour with This Week in Valor for December 7th to the 13th, 2014. Elmer E. Fryer, was a private in the 2nd Battalion, 511th Parachute Infantry Regiment, who posthumously received the Medal of Honor for his heroism December 8, 1944, on the island of Leyte in the Philippines. Private Fryer's company was ordered to cover withdrawal to a more suitable point from which to launch an attack, but the enemy launched a strong counterattack which threatened to cut them off. Seeing an enemy platoon moving to outflank them, he moved to higher ground and opened heavy and accurate fire. He was hit and wounded, but continuing his attack, he drove the enemy back with a loss of 27 killed. He found a seriously wounded comrade, helped him to the rear, and overtook his platoon leader, who was assisting another wounded man. Then an enemy sniper appeared and aimed his weapon at the platoon leader. Private Fryer instantly sprang forward, received the full burst of automatic fire in his own body, and fell mortally wounded. With his remaining strength, he threw a hand grenade and killed the sniper. Private Fryer's indomitable fighting spirit and extraordinary gallantry above and beyond the call of duty contributed outstandingly to the success of the battalion's withdrawal and its subsequent attack and defeat of the enemy. His heroic action in unhesitatingly giving his own life for his comrade-in-arms exemplified the highest tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces. Fryer's remains were never recovered. He is one of over 73,000 Americans still listed as missing in action from World War II. For more stories like his, please check out theirfinesthour.net, and please tune into Their Finest Hour here on VLR Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
This was Their Finest Hour.
Hi, this is Jonah Goldberg from National Review, and you're listening to Vigilant Liberty Radio.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com, and you're listening to Vigilant Liberty Radio. Hi, this is Jason Dibbler, co-host of Q with a View, heard every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on FTR Radio. Right now, FTR needs your help in making the jump into the 21st century through some long-needed equipment upgrades. This is where you, the great and loyal listeners of Great Conservative Talk Radio, can really lend a hand. Visit GoFundMe.com/helpupgradeFTR right now. Your assistance, no matter how small, will help to ensure that FTR can continue to offer some of the best conservative radio on the interwebs. Your donation of $50 gets you up to 60 seconds of airtime on FTR radio 4 times. For $100, your ad will run 10 times, or if you don't want to run an ad, you can have 30 minutes of FTR airtime to talk about anything you want. There are other thank yous for other levels of giving as well, but those are some pretty great offers. We hope you'll consider making a small donation to help keep quality conservative talk radio alive and thriving on the internet. Visit GoFundMe.com/helpupgradeFTR today. Thank you. VLR.
Welcome to the Saturday Night Cigar Lounge on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
Lights! Now! I am an antichrist.
And this is Saturday Night Cigar Lounge here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. Hour number 2. We just unfortunately lost someone, but hopefully we'll get Eric Grubbs back.
Hi, this is Eric. Leave a message after beep.
He's coming back now. So anyway, yes, this is Saturday Night Cigar Lounge. I'm your host, Taylor Millard. Very happy to have Roman Flute. Roman, how are you doing?
Doing really good.